What was the last straw that made you give up on your parents? I was the surprise baby. That's the polite way my family described me. The less polite way was the accident. I wasn't supposed to exist. My parents were already in their 40s when I was born. My two brothers and my sister were practically adults. By the time I was old enough to remember things, they already had their own lives. I was more like an afterthought than a daughter. Every birthday photo from my childhood has the same thing in common. I'm the only one looking at the camera. Everyone else is looking somewhere else. Growing up, I became an expert at taking up as little space as possible. I wore my sister's old clothes, even though she was 6 inches taller than me. I learned to make my own lunches in 2nd grade because my parents always forgot. When there were school plays, I stopped looking for them in the audience because they never came. One year, my teacher sat next to me afterward because she didn't want me waiting alone. I kept thinking if I could just become someone they were proud of, things would change. So I tried everything. Straight A's, honor roll, student council. I volunteered at the animal shelter every weekend because my mom loved dogs. I joined debate because my dad had been a champion in high school. I won 3 tournaments. He never came to a single one. Whenever I brought home an award, my mom would say, "That's nice, sweetheart," then immediately ask my brother about his new job. I became really good at pretending it didn't hurt. Then came my high school graduation. I thought maybe this would be different. It's graduation, right? Everyone shows up for graduation. My parents promised they'd be there. I even saved them seats. I kept looking at the doors during the ceremony. No parents. No siblings. No one. When my name was called, I walked across the stage and accepted my diploma while everyone else's families cheered. The auditorium was loud, but around me it felt completely silent. Afterward, I sat on a bench outside holding my flowers. I told myself they were just running late. An hour passed. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text from my mom. "Sorry, honey. Your brother's dog had an emergency at the vet. We'll celebrate later." That was it. No apology. No call. Just a text. I cried in the parking lot until one of my teachers drove me home. I should have given up then, but I didn't. I kept trying. A few years later, I got accepted into my dream graduate program. I was the first person in my family to do it. I invited everyone to the acceptance dinner. Nobody came. My dad said he was tired. My sister had plans. One brother forgot. The other never replied. I sat in a restaurant by myself and ate my celebration dinner alone. The waitress brought me a free slice of cheesecake because she thought I'd been stood up on a date. Honestly, that felt easier to explain. Then came the last straw. Last year, I got engaged. I called my mom first. No answer. I called my dad. Straight to voicemail. I sent pictures of the ring to the family group chat. Nothing. Hours later, my sister finally replied. "Cute ring." That was it. Cute ring. The next day, I drove to my parents' house because I wanted to tell them in person. I walked in and everyone was there. Both brothers, my sister, my parents. There were balloons and cake. For one stupid second, I thought they'd planned an engagement party. Then my mom smiled and said, "Oh, good, you're here." I looked around. "What's going on?" My brother answered, "We're celebrating Max." Max is my parents' golden retriever. He'd turned 10. My family had thrown a birthday party. For the dog, there was a banner, a custom cake, matching t-shirts. My engagement hadn't even been mentioned. Then my mom looked at me and said, "Can you take a picture of all of us?" I stood there holding my engagement ring box in my pocket. Nobody had even noticed it. I took the picture. Then I looked at all of them smiling together, and something inside me just stopped. No anger, no tears, just peace. I handed my phone back and said, "I actually came to tell you something." Everyone looked up. I smiled. "I'm engaged." They all started talking at once. "Congratulations. When's the wedding? Who's the guy?" But it was too late, because for the first time in my life, I realized I didn't need their excitement anymore. I didn't need their approval. I didn't even need their attention. I left after 10 minutes. A month later, I mailed my wedding invitations. Everyone got one except my parents. And before anyone judges me, here's the funny part. 3 weeks after the wedding, my mom called crying. She said, "I can't believe you got married without your family." I let her talk. Then I asked one question. "Mom, what day is my birthday?" Silence. A full 30 seconds. Then she whispered, "I don't know." And that was the moment I knew I'd made the right decision. Because if someone can't remember the day you came into the world, they don't get a front row seat to the life you build after it.